It's 9 p.m. the night before the 2026 NFL Draft. This is my final mock. Locked in, no more changes. Let's see how it holds up tomorrow night. This class is one of the hardest to predict in recent memory, and that makes for must-watch television tomorrow night. Starting it off with the first overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza had one of the most complete college seasons in recent memory. Led Indiana to a national championship, won the Heisman, just a storybook start to finish. As a prospect, for me, he's a B+, prototypical size, good enough arm, accuracy you can trust, solid processing, and enough contact balance and mobility to extend plays with his legs. The caveat is real, though. He comes out of an RPO-heavy offense, and there will be a learning curve to full field reads and playing under center. I like to see him clean up fumbles and pocket presence. Those are two areas I think he can sharpen as well. But general manager John Spytek did a good job adding in free agency, and signing quarterback Kirk Cousins to mentor him I think is a smart bridge move. And this pick has been pretty much locked in since January. With the second overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, I had the New York Jets selecting David Bailey, edge rusher, Texas Tech. This came down to Bailey and Arvell Reese from Ohio State, and it's been a genuine toss-up. I lean Bailey. I'm a tick lower on him than the consensus. I have concerns with his anchor and run defense and just overall stiffness as a player, but the production is impossible to ignore. Led the FBS with 15 sacks and finished second with 81 pressures in 2025. Aaron Glenn needs pass rush in the worst way, and Bailey is the top consensus edge rusher. With the third overall pick, I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. The Cardinals are the most logical trade back candidate in the top five, and general manager Monty Austinfort has never been shy about moving down. We saw him do it in 2023, but I think the offers don't get there, and he holds who I take to be considered one of the three best players in the draft with Love. Debate positional value all you want. Is it worth taking a running back this high? To me, a player like Jeremiah Love is a sure thing. He has an NFL-ready build, breakaway speed. He's ideal in a gap scheme. He's a patient runner, just an easy future Pro Bowl projection. With the fourth overall pick, I have the Tennessee Titans selecting linebacker Sonny Styles from Ohio State. Robert Saleh opens up his Tennessee era with one of my favorite players in this class, another top three guy. Saleh built Fred Warner into the franchise linebacker in San Francisco, and Sonny Styles has that same kind of do-it-all profile. 6'5", 244 pounds, just an absurd athlete. He's zero missed tackles in 2025, the range and man coverage ability to line up anywhere on the field. The ceiling here is enormous, and Saleh is exactly the coach to develop it. With the fifth overall pick, I have the New Orleans Saints trading up with the New York Giants to select Arvell Reese, edge and linebacker from Ohio State. I think New Orleans gets aggressive and lands a foundational piece up front. Reese is exactly the kind of player defensive coordinator Brandon Staley can build around. He does everything, can shed blocks, anchor against the run, blitz with power in hands, and still gets after the pass rusher when called upon. I actually prefer him in long-term as a linebacker, but the versatility to rush the passer from multiple alignments at just 20 years old makes him one of the most intriguing prospects to me in this class. He's shown the ceiling, like I said, as a pass rusher. He's already shown the ability to win with the cross chop, the bull rush, just needs to get more refined overall, but he's still super, super young. With the sixth overall pick, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah. Andrew Berry, the general manager there, we know his analytical staff is always hunting a trade back, and Dallas could absolutely be the one calling. But if Cleveland holds, I think Spencer Fano is the pick. 3 years of starting experience at both left and right tackle, only 1 sack allowed in college, 5 pressures and 0 sacks in 2025. Just elite pocket range, reactive athleticism that I think translates to any spot at the line. We saw him work out in the interior at the NFL Combine, and he looked good. His versatility makes him a very, very hard player to bust, in my opinion. Just a safe player across the board. I wouldn't blink if another team moved up to 6, though. With the 7th overall pick, I had the Washington Commanders selecting Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. Adam Peters has been working all offseason to surround Jane Daniels with a good defense, and now it's time to get him some weapons, and Terry McLaurin isn't going to be there forever, and I think Tate is a natural heir apparent, another Buckeye, another big play threat, and unlike my Tate-based wide receiver 1 in Jordan Tyson, Tate comes without any medical concerns. He's tall, explosive off the line of scrimmage, a legitimate deep and double move ability. He tracks the ball well over his shoulder and can bring a jump ball element that I think would really help Jane Daniels in the red zone. With the 8th overall pick, I had the New York Giants selecting safety Caleb Downs from Ohio State. After trading back with the Saints, they get Caleb Downs, who in my opinion is the best player in the class. He plays like a seasoned veteran, elite run defender, instincts you just can't coach, a feel for the game that separates good safeties from transcendent ones. He was a star freshman under Nick Saban at Alabama. He could have honestly played in the NFL as a freshman. He was that special. The testing won't wow you. He's not some elite athlete, but he's a smart physical player. And I think he's a Pro Bowler for years to come. And you get value for moving back from 5 to 8. I think that would be great business by Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh. With the 9th overall pick, I have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Mansour Delane, cornerback, LSU. Tennessee corner Jermon McCoy's injury opened up the door for Delane to get the top spot, but he walked through it and had a phenomenal year on his own. He is my CB1 in this class, 0 career penalties, 0 touchdowns allowed, just 2 receptions of 20-plus yards surrendered all of 2025. Light feet, loose hips, has the ability to swivel and break out on a speed turn with almost no lag. He's so fluid. And I think general manager Brett Veach pivots from pass rusher at this spot and adds a shutdown corner to keep the dynasty window open. We're talking about them losing. The Chiefs lost 2 of their top corners, Jalen Watson and, of course, All-Pro Trent McDuffie, to the Rams this offseason, so they're definitely feeling a need there. But also, it comes at a great spot because Mansour Delane happens to be the best player on the board. At pick number 10, I have the New York Giants selecting wide receiver Jordan Tyson, Arizona State. I really think Tyson, when healthy, is the clear best receiver in this class. He has special upside. It's no secret the Giants have interest in Tyson and could even take him at 5 if they stick and pick there. And like I said, when healthy, Tyson is the best receiver in this class to me. That's my conviction, and I'm not walking it back despite the medicals. Shifty and elusive against press, elite release packages, advanced change of direction, just real nuance and salesmanship at the top of his routes. Pairing him with Dart and Neighbors gives New York one of the most exciting young cores in the NFC almost immediately. The Giants head on both ends of round 1. At pick number 11, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Francis Mauigoa, offensive lineman from Miami. I say offensive lineman because Mauigoa has the ability to kick inside and guard or stick at right tackle. That will be up to new head coach Jeff Hafley and general manager John Eric Sullivan. And I think this is an ideal spot at pick 11. They have multiple options on the board, but fortifying the offensive line I think is never the wrong call. And Mauigoa gets to stay home, Miami Hurricane to Miami Dolphins, same stadium. This is a guy with over 2,800 career snaps at tackle, elite strike timing and accuracy as a pass blocker, a drive ability that stands out on tape. He can be a foundational interior or exterior piece to protect Malik Willis. At pick number 12, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Ruben Bain from Miami edge rusher. Jerry Jones has made it no secret he's looking to trade up in this draft. He just doesn't have to at this point. Ruben Bain is the best edge rusher in the class on my board, and he falls right into Dallas's lap at 12. This is a guy that led college football with 83 pressures in 2025. Dense, powerful, explosive, natural hand usage, and a power moveset that ultimately translates immediately. Losing Micah Parsons stings, but Bain is the most compelling long-term answer they could have found. With the 13th pick in the NFL draft, I have the Los Angeles Rams selecting Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, USC. Lemon to McVay is a great system and scheme match. Puka Nacua is obviously dealing with some off-the-field concerns, and Devontae Adams' clock is ticking, so adding another receiver to that room I think could help. This is a guy in Lemon with an advanced release package for a slot receiver, exceptional body control, ball tracking that pops on tape, and I think Sean McVay will know exactly how to use Lemon to get the most out of him from day one. At pick 14, I have the Baltimore Ravens selecting Olavega Ione, offensive guard from Penn State. The Ravens have struggled at the interior spot for years, and Ione is one of the best guards I've evaluated since I've started watching draft prospects. We're talking about a guy with an elite anchor, heavy and powerful hands, exceptional strike power. He doesn't lunge against bull rushes, stays balanced through contact to sustain blocks and move people off the ball. I think he's a plug-and-play starter with all-pro upside. At pick 15, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Miami edge rusher Akeem Mesidor, 67 pressures, 13 sacks, a 20.8% pass rush win rate. I wrestle with Mesidor as a player. 15 would be very rich for me. He's an older prospect with a compact frame and just a brutal injury history, but the Buccaneers need pass rush help badly, and Mesidor is considered a first-round lock by most NFL front offices, and sometimes you just got to take the guy who has earned the grade across the league and fits a need. With the 16th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, I have the New York Jets selecting Omar Cooper, wide receiver, Indiana. Cooper Jr. is a balanced, well-rounded receiver with very few glaring weaknesses on tape. Good speed, fluid change of direction, versatility to line up all over the formation, and this gives Geno Smith a reliable target while New York builds towards a quarterback decision in 2027. With the 17th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, I have the Detroit Lions selecting Caden Proctor, offensive tackle from Alabama. Proctor feels like a Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes kind of player. Physical, finishing style blocker that fits the Lions' identity up front. 17, clear positional need and the value works. He definitely needs refinement in his redirect and footwork. He may have to kick inside and guard. He struggles against some speed rushers, but the move blocking ability and grip strength are legitimately elite. And the guard versatility adds optionality. Another capable tackle opposite Penei Sewell changes what Detroit can do schematically. You never can have too many good offensive linemen, especially young, cheap offensive linemen. With the 18th pick, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Oregon safety Dylan Thieneman. Thieneman in Minnesota has been one of the most popular pairings this entire cycle, and for good reason. Harrison Smith's career is winding down, and finding a long-term cornerstone at safety needs to be a priority. Thieneman checks everything. Experience in multiple schemes from Purdue to Oregon, production across all those multiple roles, and the kind of versatility safety profile that Brian Flores can deploy in a dozen different ways. At pick 19, I have the Carolina Panthers selecting Texas A&M wide receiver Casey Concepcion. Carolina needs to keep building around their signal caller, Bryce Young, before making any long-term extension decisions, and they need the clearest picture to do that. Why not add another pass catcher to the room? Concepcion adds real firepower, in my opinion, exceptional burst out of breaks, elite foot speed, just a natural separator, and super impressive acceleration ability. This gives the Panthers a field-stretching, route-running complement to a developing quarterback that needs another receiver to that room. With the 20th pick, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Tennessee cornerback Jermod McCoy. McCoy might be the biggest wild card of the 2026 NFL Draft. He could go a lot earlier, or he could slip even later. In 2024, when he was healthy, he was the best cornerback in the class, no question about it. The question hanging over him now is how serious the knee injury really is, because the whispers have not been encouraging recently. A major question mark. Like I said, he could have gone much earlier or fallen much further. He slides to 20 in this. Speed, explosiveness, transition ability that just jumps off the tape. If he's healthy, Dallas got a steal, but that's a significant if right now. At pick 21, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Georgia offensive tackle Monroe Freeling. Only a season and a half of starting experience, but Freeling's athletic profile has starter-level traits all over it. Ideal length, elite pocket range, a natural mover at 6'7", 315 pounds, and Broderick Jones, who they drafted out of Georgia a few years ago, hasn't lived up to his first-round billing, so let's try again with another Bulldog. And Pittsburgh needs tackle answer regardless of who's under center. Aaron Rodgers or Will Howard, they need another guy up front, and Freeling is an explosive puller with the athleticism to fit in any scheme. At pick 22, I have the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Caden McDonald from Ohio State. To me, McDonald is a safe, sure pick, and exactly what the Harbaugh defense wants. He's elite against double teams, exceptional shedding blocks, and outstanding play recognition. He's smart. Now, the pass rush production is limited. This guy, McDonald, might only be able to play on first and second down as a rookie. He only has 11 career pressures, but the Harbaugh family has always prioritized stopping the run, and McDonald dominates that phase, and he fits a real need. This is a kind of meat and potatoes pick, but checks every box schematically and value-wise with the first defensive tackle off the board. At pick 23, I had the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq, a prospect I'm a little bit lower on than consensus, and I think Howie Roseman can go a lot of different directions here, but Sadiq's rare traits, jumping off the tape, just make too much sense given how things have fallen up to this point. A seam-stretching tight end with elite speed. We're talking about a guy that blew up the NFL Combine. Just super impressive there. 4.39 40-yard dash, 43.5 vertical, both in the 99th to 100th percentile range. Legitimate move-blocking ability. My main concern is whether he can hold up in line. He's only around 243 pounds, but the athleticism and upside are as rare as it gets for the position. He doesn't look like many other tight ends. Pick 24, Cleveland Browns select Denzel Boston, wide receiver. Washington, with the tackle need already addressed at 6 with Spencer Fano from Utah, Cleveland I think can pivot to receiver and gets good value here with Boston. I think he brings an imposing frame, a catch radius that stands out in this class. He's a jump ball threat, a contested catch weapon, and I think he's a better route runner than he gets credit for. He checks a lot of boxes for a guy that you want that can play on the line of scrimmage, can play outside. And there are so many slot guys now, to have a true X receiver with his skill set is a big, big advantage. At pick 25, I have the Chicago Bears selecting Clemson edge rusher T.J. Parker. Edge is a clear need in Chicago, and Parker, despite a disappointing 2025 statistically, still has the college production overall in a pro-ready build that jumps out at you. Long arms, natural power, had a really good Senior Bowl, checks enough boxes for Dennis Allen and Ryan Poles to pull the trigger here at 25. Now, the bend and overall pass rush moveset are a work in progress, but the foundation is there. At pick 26, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Peter Woods, defensive tackle. Clemson, Woods was a consensus top 10 lock entering the season before a position change in a new scheme saw his numbers dip, but the traits never left. He's an easy mover with NFL size and play strength, elite block shedding ability, and enticing pass rush tools across the board. The production took a hit, but the upside is real, and Buffalo has a clear need on the defensive line. At pick 27, I have the San Francisco 49ers selecting Arizona State offensive tackle Max Ihanachor, one of the biggest ceilings in this class. New to the sport of football, but already flashing prototypical mass and length. He's a quick learner. To be this new to the sport and already this good is super impressive, and with Trent Williams' age becoming a real factor, Ihanachor could be the long-term answer for them at tackle. Who's better to learn from than maybe the greatest tackle of this generation in Trent Williams? And like I said, he's already ahead of schedule with their development, and with more reps to go, the sky is truly the limit here with Ihanachor from Arizona State. At pick 28, I have the Houston Texans selecting another Clemson Tiger, this time on the offensive side of the ball, Blake Miller, offensive tackle. Miller is one of my guys in this class. You're talking about an elite athlete, 35-inch arms, exceptional range and impact as a zone blocker, the finish and grip strength you want at tackle. He just checks so many boxes. When he's on, he's on. He has the rare combination, still young, but with so much starting experience under his belt, and protecting C.J. Stroud will stay at the top of Houston's priority list, and getting a guy like Miller should help them a lot. At pick 29, I have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle, Utah, the second tackle from Utah off the board. Peter Schrager reported some questions with second-year tackle Josh Simmons and how the Chiefs view him, so adding Lomu is a good athlete who has an NFL frame, can handle stunts and blitzes, and is young and smart. At pick 30, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting safety from Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. We're talking about a guy with an imposing build, long arms, allowed just 3 receptions for positive yards on 16 targets this year. He's a tone setter at the catch point with real physicality and press, and the size to match up in the red zone. Needs to clean up some technique, especially tackling. 2 other areas I'd like to see him develop. Just needs to be more fluid and smarter in zone. And of course, to go along with the tackling technique. But the frame and upside give Jeff Hafley some real material to work with. This is a project, but the Toledo pipeline to the NFL continues with Emmanuel McNeil-Warren off the board at pick 30. At pick 31, I have the New England Patriots selecting UCF edge rusher Malachi Lawrence. The Patriots are out of range for an offensive tackle here, so attacking the edge rushing position makes sense after losing Chase Young in free agency. Lawrence may need some time to develop, but the upside is genuinely enticing. Length, lightning fast hands, natural pop at the point of attack, and a motor that keeps him in plays. The kind of high upside dart throw New England can afford to take in this range at pick 31. And with my final pick in the 2026 NFL Draft first round, I have the Seattle Seahawks moving back in the division with the Arizona Cardinals for the Cardinals to land Alabama signal caller Ty Simpson. The Seahawks move back and secure for future capital while Arizona lands their quarterback of the future. I also love the fit here with LaFleur and Simpson. And Simpson looked like a surefire first-round pick to start the season before things broke down around him. The concerns are real. Only 15 career starts, a slender build, and accuracy and durability concerns are definitely there. And he doesn't look great when things break down. I'm personally a little bit lower on Simpson, but it's hard to deny the pre-snap ability, processing, pocket presence. They all flash at a level that makes him worth this investment late in round 1 as Arizona searches for their post-Kyler Murray answer.